Hello, welcome to Fun Stories. I have a very special book today that is actually a true story. In this day where everything on the news is all about opening schools and how are we going to do it, and will Madison or will Dane County or will the state or will the country, everything is up in the air right now. This is a story, a true story, about a little girl in Afghanistan who wasn't allowed to go to school. The name of the book is Nazrine's Secret School. The copyright is 2009 by Jeanette Winter. So let's start our story. I'm going to give you a little bit of history. Oh, and I want to tell you too, this book is dedicated to the courageous women and girls of Afghanistan. So there was a time in history not too long ago, from about 1996 to 2001, that the Taliban reigned in Afghanistan. Before the Taliban came, 70% of school teachers were women, 40% of doctors were women, and 50% of students at Kabul University were women. And then the Taliban came. And after that, girls weren't allowed to attend school or university. Women were not allowed to work outside the home. Women weren't allowed to leave home without a male chaperone. And they were forced to wear a burqa that covered their entire head and body with only a small opening for their eyes. Worse, for you children, there was no singing or dancing or flying a kite. Art and culture was banished. The Buddhas carved into the side of the mountain were destroyed, and years of isolation and fear had begun. But there was also bravery. So let's hear the story, the true story, written by Nazrine's grandmother. My granddaughter Nazrine lives with me in Herat, an ancient city in Afghanistan. Arts and music and learning once flourished there. Then the soldiers came and changed everything. The art and music and learning are gone. Dark clouds hang over the city. Poor Nazrine sat home all day because girls are forbidden to attend school. The Taliban soldiers don't want girls to learn about the world the way Nazrine's mama and I learned when we were girls. Well, one night the soldiers came to our house and they took away my son with no explanation. We waited many days and nights for his return. Finally, Nazrine's frantic mama went searching for him, even though going out alone in the streets was forbidden for women and girls. The full moon passed our window many times as Nazrine and I waited. Nazrine never spoke a word. She never smiled. She just sat, waiting for her mama and papa to return. I knew I had to do something. I heard whispers about a school, a secret school for girls behind a green gate in a nearby lane. I wanted Nazrine to attend this secret school. I wanted her to learn about the world as I had, and I wanted her to speak again. So one day, Nazrine and I hurried down the lanes until we came to the green gate. Luckily, no soldier saw us. I tapped lightly. The teacher opened the gate, and we quickly slipped inside. We crossed the courtyard to the school, one room in a private house filled with girls. Nazrine took a place at the back of the room. Please, Allah, open her eyes to the world, I prayed as I left her there. And Allah is God. Nazrine didn't speak to the other girls. She didn't speak to the teacher. At home, she remained silent. I was fearful that the soldiers would discover the school, but the girls were clever. They slipped in and out of school at different times so as not to arouse suspicion. And when boys saw soldiers near the green gate, they distracted them. I heard of a soldier who pounded on the gate, demanding to enter, but all he found was a room filled with girls reading the Quran, which was allowed. The girls had hidden their schoolwork, outwitting the soldier. One of the girls, Mina, sat next to Nasreen every day, but they never spoke to each other. While the girls were learning, Nasreen stayed inside herself. My worry was deep. When school closed for the long winter recess, Nasreen and I sat by the fire. Relatives gave us what food and firewood they could spare. We missed her mama and my son more than ever. Would we ever know what had happened? The day Nasreen returned to school, Mina whispered in her ear, "I missed you." And Nasreen answered back, "I missed you too." With those words, her first since her mama went searching, Nasreen opened her heart to Mina. And she smiled for the first time since her papa was taken away. At last, little by little, day by day, Nasreen learned to read, to write, to add, and subtract. Each night, she showed me what she had discovered that day. Windows had opened for Nasreen in that little schoolroom. She learned about the artists and the writers and the scholars and the mystics of long, long ago who had made Herat beautiful. Nasreen no longer feels alone. The knowledge she holds inside will always be with her like a good friend. Now she can see blue sky beyond those dark clouds. As for me, my mind is at ease. I still wait for my son and his wife, but the soldiers can never close the windows that I have opened for my granddaughter. Insha Allah, which means God willing. Windows opened for her granddaughter. They weren't really windows, but they were windows in her mind because she could see all the things that she had not been able to see by not being allowed to go to school. Can you imagine not being allowed to go to school because you are a girl? This happens in other countries. So feel blessed, feel lucky. We're lucky here in America that most of our children have the opportunity to learn, to go to a school. Some schools are better than other schools, and that's not fair. But I'm thankful I could go to school when I was young, even though I didn't always love it. And please remember to be thankful that you can as well, even when times get a little tough. I hope you enjoyed our true story about Nasreen, and I hope she's doing really well these days. Be interesting to know what she's up to now. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you soon. Take care.